Okay, time for to start our floor joist system. And to begin with, we need to put a sill plate on top of our steel beam here. And I'm going to work on my top of foundation wall level. And with this one, I'm going to, instead of doing a sweep, I mean, I could do a sweep just or an extrusion just like we did before. In doing that sill plate around the building, it's easier, quicker to do a sweep than it is to do individual pieces of wood. So that's why I did that, and it serves unless you're using Revit to do quantity takeoff on list of materials and things, it works just as fine. Okay, it models what you want. Okay, so we're going to go with structural framing, a beam, and we're going to load a family. So I'm going to go down to structural framing, wood, dimensional lumber, and I want to bring in a 2x6. Do, do, do. Okay, and I like when I'm drawing structural framing things, I like to draw them out to the side and then line them up and constrain them. Okay, so my property settings didn't show it well. Okay, so here it is right here. Now, the problem is it needs to be rotated. And so the best way to do that is just go ahead and draw it. And I'm going to come right here in my properties and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Okay. Now I want to change my offsets and I can't remember if it was the Z or the Y now that we've rotated it. I think it's the Y still. So I'm going to go right. Nope. So if I go back and go left, that pulls it up at the correct level that I want. So it depends on which way it rotated when you drew it and those kinds of things. Okay, so we can do that. You can play with these things to set your, this is like your offsets to set the height of it. Okay, and let's see, structural usage. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that set at other. Okay, now I want to constrain it or align it, sorry. So I'll choose my align and I'm gonna go centers and I want the center of my beam and the center of my joist. Okay, I'm gonna come back to here. Need to play with my view range on this. Let's see. Oh, yeah, okay. So let's change my view range up. It's got the floor system, so I'll have to hide my floor over here in this view. Okay, and so there's my joist, or excuse me, my sill plate. And now I want to bring it bring it down and align it to the end of the beam. No, we'll faces. Nothing's going to pick the end of it. Okay, so we'll just grab the dot at the end and drag it down. And it stopped it back at the wall. There we go. Okay, so you can play with your dimensions here. Uh, Either way is fine. I want it to go to the end of the beam on both sides. Okay, and so let's get that in first. All right. Let me pause for just a minute and then I'll we'll start with our joist system. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. Um, Now we're going to work on our floor joist, the starting of the floor joist system. And I've switched over here to my structural plan, top of foundation wall. And what we're picking up is, of course, the wall systems. Okay, and that's fine. Now I want to go back to a beam, and I'm going to load a 2x10. And I'm going to change that over to a 2x10. And reference level top. Okay, if I go with top of foundation wall for my reference level, I want to set my Z justification to bottom and make that 1.5 inches up. And structural usage, I'm going to go ahead and set that to joist. I'll apply those things. And now that we are going to draw these things in. I'm not going to do a chain. I don't really want to do snapping. I'll do it just like before. I'll draw them, drag them, and align them. Okay. And of course, it's not showing up because it's down low. So, um, oh, we're down in the garage. Oh, I got to go back to here too. Oh, section 2. All right. So let's go back to section 2 here. Come on. Where did it go? All right. There it is. Oh, there it is hiding. Okay, so it's in my floor system, which is fine. Now, what we're going to do with this is we want to align it with the, I'm going to go with the edge of my sill plate. Okay. And I guess I need to hide that floor system over here. And of course, with the walls there, it's not going to show up. Anyway, I'm doing it on my structural plan. It's going to show up in both plans. I started doing it here. You can certainly do it here. You just got to play with your view range. You may need to play with it some to get it lined up right. And now what we're going to do, the ones that run horizontally or left to right, those will be the ones that go to the end of the wall. These will deadhead into that. So let me put one in across the back here. And now I've got things set up. I can keep all my same settings here. And of course, you can certainly, draw multiple ones at the same time. It's not a problem, okay? Um, and so here we go. And now I'll align that. Okay. And now let me come back to my floor plan. I'll show you what I mean here. All right, so that didn't, uh, okay, here's a quicker way to deal with that. So this one we know is already aligned to the edge of the wall. So I can go with my alignment, choose the edge of that joist to that one. And then I want to bump the end of this one into the one that goes horizontal. The ones that go left to right, the length of the house, I want to be the ones that we bump everything into, because when we put our joist in, they will be attaching to this one. Okay, so now we're going to go all the way around the house, putting those in. And it'll work out best if you work with your section views. And so I'm going to get those put in. Once I come back to here, we kind of have to play with our first floor plan with getting it lined up with the dimensions for where that floor system butts out here. So I will stop my video and then come back.